Guys, Legend for Life here, bringing us a brand new video, and today we got something a bit different. So first and foremost, I am sorry I have not been uploading as much as I want to. My schedule has been absolutely garbage in terms of how much free time I've had, which is basically none. So I am finally getting to a point where I'm starting to have more free time, and my goal is generally to get 3 videos uploaded a week, one on each of my channels. If you haven't already seen, on my main channel, I do have a new video out. And also, this video is hopefully going to go up on Saturday. I have a ton of stuff that I want to do. Some things that I have to do, including a video that I promised somebody out there that I would make forever ago. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that. I got a ton of stuff. It's going to be fun. So, that's my goal. I can't guarantee because everything's just kind of crazy, but we'll have to. I think everything's going to get to a point now where I'm going to start having more and more free time. So, today I wanted to do something that I've been wanting to do forever. And for one thing, guys, let me know if you guys like the webcam or not. I wanted to try it out because I finally got it to like work and cooperate with me on here. I am definitely going to use it for live streams because I think that's a lot more fun. But for standard videos, I don't know. It's up to you guys. Do you want to see my ugly mug or not? So, let's go ahead and do this video that I've been wanting to do for like ever. Okay, so as you guys know, Mypedians are my second favorite tribe. They were my favorite tribe before Morellians came out, and then they kind of took over. And I freaking love the Warbeasts. The Warbeasts are my favorite thing about Mypedians in general. I do like the aesthetic of the non-Warbeast Mypedians, but like you can't get over kaiju-sized freaking snakes and Godzilla who freaking his picture won't load on here. Then you got freaking a giant death worm, a phoenix, a freaking, I don't even know what the hell Korra is, some kind of Lovecraftian abomination, a big old wolf, a freaking T-Rex, a dragon. You know, you can't go wrong with these things. The Warbeasts are amazing and I love them. Okay, I love them all. But today we are going to rank them. Rank them in terms of what I think is the best. Now, granted, that being said, this is my personal opinion, and I am not the best chaotic player out there, okay? This is just my opinion of somebody who has played way too many Warbeast decks and has tried pretty much all of them in one way or another, and I just want to share my opinion on that. I will link this down below so you guys can make your own tier maker. I've never done this before, and it's a little frustrating because sometimes images didn't want to work. I actually recorded this, got a half an hour in, and then, oh hey, for some reason Korra wasn't in here, and then somebody else wasn't in here either, and I didn't realize that before I started recording, and I was like, okay, we're just going to redo this. So we're going to go in order of release and rarity, going from the lowest to the highest, because of course as they go up in rarity they are supposed to get better, and also you know, release in general, cards get better as things go on. As I put them in, it probably won't stay, so like if I put somebody in like a B tier or something, they might not stay in the B tier as we go along. My opinions might change as I do this. I'm doing this very off the cuff. I want this to be fun. So, anyways, let's start off with the first Warbeast release, which was Eerie, Ubron, Titanic, and Blastotan. You notice I called this thing Eerie. That's how I pronounced it as a kid, and that's how I've always pronounced it. But somebody told me it's actually pronounced ear, like, or air, like air. I don't know. So I'm going to just pronounce it whichever way works, and we're going to roll with that. So, air here. No, screw that. I'm going with back of Eerie. It's too weird. Eerie. Okay, so Eerie. Freaking this thing. It's a giant snake, and it's a king cobra, basically. It's huge, and I love the little flavor text down here. Born of sand and storm, Eerie can traverse the Mypedium desert in mere seconds, which of course correlates to its effect, having range and swift 4. I believe swift 4, that is the highest inherent swift out of any creature. I could be totally wrong about that. Let me know about that down below. I am probably wrong about that. I'm going to be 100% honest. He has base air, and his stats are pretty much okay for a common Warbeast. 50 courage, 75 power, 20 wisdom. All the Warbeasts, with the exception of like 2, have garbage wisdom. And then 100 speed, capping out 110. His HP energy kind of leaves much to be desired. He's very squishy at 50. That's about average for standard non-Warbeasts. Warbeasts in general are a bit more not squishy, but Eerie is very much squishy. And I think that's because of what niche he fills. With the range and the Swift 4, this thing can jump from one side of the board to the other super, super easy. Really with Eerie, you're mainly going to be going for the backers. You're not going to be going for the frontliners. You're going to be going for the muges, and you're going to be going for whatever support creatures your opponent has. Like if they have like a Nadrin or something in the middle, which I don't know why they would, but hey, they might. Who knows? Maybe they have something more that they want to protect in the back. But maybe they have a Nadrin in the middle, and you want to kill that Nadrin before he gets annoying, so you hop over and try to do it. That is the niche that Eerie fills. The thing is that he did get very much power crept by Ninrin, who does the same thing, but has better stats. So, it's very interesting where Eerie is at. I really like him for having the Swift 4. He can literally go from one side of the board to the other very easily. And for that, and where he was when it first came out, I'm going to put him... where is he? There he is. I'm going to put him as a solid... I really wish I had like a B- here. He'd be a high C, low B, I think. And again, I think I might move him... I kind of lean in... I think a C is good. I think we're going to go C. C makes more sense to me. I keep wanting to put him into B. I'm not sure. It's very tempting to put him into B because I just feel like he's just very okay. He's not bad. He's not good. He's not like great, I should say. He's good. He's just not great. He did get power crept by Ninrin, and now there's almost no point to playing him. But I do think that it is an interesting, good start for what they wanted to do with Warbeasts. The Recklessness 10 can be very easily erased with just a single Conjurer. So, well, for the most part, there's a certain Conjurer who only gets rid of 5 Recklessness, but apparently can somehow control Blasphatan in the anime. What the hell am I saying? Cartoon! I watch too much anime. God dang it. Anyways, moving on. Ubron was one of my favorites as a kid. I love his design. He's a big... I don't even know what, a cross between a dog and a lizard thing. He's got these like blade arm things coming out here. Has this cool red head thing mask. Got all the Conjurer markings all over. And gigantic meaty claws, as the meme goes. Very, very big monster. And it's even more so compounded with his text here. Ubron is the smallest Warbeast, only about the size of 20 Chaos. Chaos looks to be about 9 feet tall, so 20 times 9, that's what, 180 feet, give or take. I'm bad at math, don't look at me. He's got some okay effects, very much defensive at Fireproof 10 and Waterproof 10. Recklessness of 15, which is a bit annoying, so you're going to need at least a Conjure or 2 to get rid of all that. Maybe just 1, and then you just deal the 5 damage. It's something that you got to deal with. Since back when he came out, you were playing him with good old Blasphatan, you would have 2 Warbeasts, give or take. I mean, 2 Conjurers, maybe even 3 to try and cover all that Recklessness. Back when it came out, there really wasn't much that you could do. They really didn't get really good about different ways of getting rid of a ton of Recklessness super quick until later on. That being said, he also has Air and Earth, which is really good. You know, I like it when everything has Air and Earth and Mepedians, because then it's all good and they can all play together nicely. Courage of 50, so okay stats, so with that. Power of 75 and speed of 75, pretty decent there. Wisdom also being about the same as Eerie, and actually so is the energy. This thing is basically just a more defensive Eerie, and to that extent, it's not particularly good, especially nowadays. Ubron, when he came out, was really, really good. Like, when he came out, I would say he was an A. Just because there wasn't any other good options other than him and Blasphatan and Eerie. Nowadays, I would very much put him at the same level as Eerie. Mainly because it just isn't that particularly great. He has very not good stats, and he just gets chunky. With having Fireproof 10 and Waterproof 10, so at max he is 75, which is nice. But however, Fire and Water, while those are two of the most common stat line elements you see, you don't see them too often together, at least in my experience. Again, I could be totally wrong about this. This is all my subjective bullcrap opinion. So I just feel like he doesn't get as chunky as he should be as often. So I am very much putting him into C tier here with Eerie. Then we get to Titanics. The black sheep of the Warbeasts. This thing is... I don't even know what they were doing here. He has no synergy with the others. Okay, I'm just going to say, this thing has no synergy with any other Warbeast other than maybe Core. Like, maybe Core, just because they both don't have any elements. Titanics, when he came out, very rarely, in my experience, saw play and was very much a D tier. He still is a D tier. I'm going to just slap him right there and say it now. Because this thing has no elements, so you can't really play it with other Warbeasts. And then it has the weird effect of Intimidate, Courage, Speed, of Intimidate, Courage, and Speed 50 each. And then it's, of course, got Recklessness 20. So, the Intimidate, Courage, and Speed by 50... I mean, the Courage makes sense. I don't know about you, but if I saw a giant Mongolian death form charging at me, I would freak out and I would go running. That would increase my speed, not decrease my speed. But I'm just making a joke here. This thing is cool. I like its design in terms of its artwork. I mean, who doesn't like a big death worm? It's cool as hell. But it has no synergy with any other Warbeast other than maybe Core. And that's purely because of the stat line, which is overall okay. He has really high courage and really high speed at 75 each. Okay power, and then just the same garbage wisdom stat as all the other Warbeasts, or most of them. And then it's right behind Blaziken in terms of energy-wise. At 60 average, 65 high, 55 low. This thing... I'm so mixed on. I want to like it, but I also really... It's like, he's just not good. There's no reason to play him ever, and it just only got worse as time went on. Now we got the big boy, Blaziken, whose artwork won't load for some reason, but we all know what Blaziken looks like. He is best boy. He is very much best boy. Courage and speed are the highest at 150. Average capping out at 160 each. I am told that that is the highest printed stat line that a creature has, other than at least in terms of courage and speed, other than eyeing whenever he's flipped over. So highest natural stat line that's not like altered by an effect, which is basically what eyeing is. Power of 75, wisdom of 75, 50. So he's got good power, decent wisdom, especially for Warbeasts, capping out at 75 energy, which is really, really, really good, and you can increase that even more, or slap a Xerium armor on him to make him even harder to kill. He has base air and earth, which is really necessary, and also air and earth 5. Blaziken, the epic Warbeast, lives up to his name, and is still a great and phenomenal card. So much so, I'm going to put him in the S tier. I'm just going to put him in the S tier. If you want to play a non-core focused Warbeast deck, he is the main frontliner and star of the show in the deck for the most part. The others, you get into some niche categories and stuff because they started experimenting more after the second wave of Warbeasts. Really, after the first wave, they started experimenting with them to differentiate them. But I think that's more of a detriment than it is a plus, but we'll see about that here in a minute. Blaziken is a really, really, really just all-around great boss monster. Absolutely can dominate and just completely destroy a team. And it's just so cool. I mean, the thing has freaking tornadoes for arms and legs. I kind of really want like a Blaziken retrain that also has fire, and he's got like fire tornadoes. And then you gave him fire, earth, and air, and then, oh hey, now he can be slammed in with the dragons if the dragons had fire. We will never know, probably. Who knows? Moving on to Kilron, who's basically always been kind of joked as being a worse Blaziken. I remember when this thing came out, and everybody's like, this thing's Blaziken, but worse. Like, it has the exact same base, like, statage kind of thing in terms of it has air and earth, has recklessness 25 like Blaziken, has air 5 and earth 5 like Blaziken, but then it has garbage stat lines compared to Blaziken, capping out at 55 energy, 40 courage, power 70, wisdom 30, speed 70. It's okay. It's okay. He's about on par with Ubron stat-wise. The thing that makes Kilron stand out and playable is the simple fact of his third bonus effect. Creatures and battle gear cards that leave play are removed from the game instead. This means any card that would go to the discard pile does not go to the discard pile, it gets removed from the game. Which means this screws over decks that are very, 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 very heavily reliant on the graveyard or utilize it. So, like, for instance, oh, hey, you doing against an Underworld deck? Oh, that Underworld Song of Revival can't bring back your KOR, dude, because KOR gets removed from play. Or you're doing against Compost Danians? Ha! This card screws them over, and it immediately becomes their primary target trying to kill. This thing is very, very powerful with that alone, and it just absolutely can destroy and win games by itself if your opponent doesn't get rid of it. But its garbage stat line means it's not a particularly great fighter. And personally, I always slap a drill dozer, or what was it called again, like reorganize the rig or something like that on it, because that increases its energy by 20, so now it's a 75, and it's got the same energy at least as Blaziken does base, so he can punch a bit more and hopefully survive and not get one-shotted by like something big. So I'm going to put him in the A tier. I feel like that the stat line really does hold back Kilron, but however, that effect is so strong it might go in the S tier. I feel like it's a high A tier. The stat line really holds it back. Yeah, he is another good frontliner alongside Blaziken if you're playing a non-core based deck. Then we got Glost. This one is where we start getting into the unique stuff where they don't play well with other Warbeasts. Glost is interesting. He's got okay stats. Let's see here. Overall, really good courage and speed and decent power and wisdom. His energy leaves much to be desired, but yeah, it doesn't matter much because he's supposed to be kind of weak because he gets stronger with every conjure in the graveyard. For every conjure in the discard pile. So I'm sorry if I use Yu-Gi-Oh terminology. I'm just used to it. Every conjure that's in your discard pile, Glost gains 5 energy, Earth 5, and Air 5 for each one in your graveyard. So he can cap out at 20 bonus Earth energy and Air and get very, very, very beefy and can hit like a truck. I believe he can cap out at like 95, if I did my math right there, in terms of energy. And, of course, also cap out at Earth 20, Air 20. You know, it's just really, really chunky. The downside is that to really make full effect of Gloss, you have to build a deck around him. Due to that, I'm going to put him into B tier because he is really fun to play with in terms of, like, building a deck around. But it's so... like, you have to use it in a deck specifically made for Glost and not in a standard Warbeast deck, because it's just not that particularly good in a standard Warbeast deck. I kind of get where they were going with this. It was supposed to be like a backup plan if your conjurers got killed, but I mean, it's more fun to just put 5 conjurers in front of them, throw them at your opponent's enemies, and then come back with a 95 energy Glost with Air and Earth 20. Oh my god, that is just, it's so much fun. And then we got GaffRaw, who does play nicely with both the Warbeast decks and also actually with Strike decks. This was their attempt to combine Strike decks with the Warbeast decks, and I would really like to see them continue this whenever Chaotic does come back and try to combine them more. Granted, they're going to diverge even more with dragons, and I'm sure dragons are not going to play nice with either of the other two, so we're going to have basically 3 different modes of play for Mepedians. It'll be interesting to see what they do and how they try to make all these different play styles work. Now, or heck, maybe the dragons will just be Warbeasts. Who knows? Anyways, GaffRaw is kind of like the Guardian Warbeast of the Royals, and due to that, he's got a different niche going on. He has a pretty mediocre courage at 40, has an immense power at 110 max, averaging 100, And Wisdom is the same as well, with average of 100 and capping out at 110. Speed is disappointing for a Mepedian at 50, and he caps out at 60. He also only has air and does not have earth, which is a bit annoying, but oh well. The biggest thing that makes this card really cool, though, is that he's got a really low recklessness of 10, and also has Defender Conjurer. And this is like the most important thing about him, is that he is a way to protect your conjurers. Because before GaffRaw came out, one of the biggest weaknesses of Warbeast decks was that your opponent could just hop over your front line with like a creature of range and try to go for your conjurers. And then, oh hey, now your Blaziken with no recklessness is now a Blaziken with 15 recklessness, and it's going to start dying. It's very, very annoying. So GaffRaw was their answer to that, in that he's got Defender Conjurer, can hop in and try and protect a Conjurer, at least for a turn. Even if he dies, you can just turn around and kill the opponent with your Blaziken or something. So he does have that at least going for him. However, he also has another thing that makes it work with Royals, and that non-attack damage dealt to adjacent Royals is dealt to GaffRaw instead. This is really cool because the Royals are very squishy, just like with other non-Warbeast Mepedians, because they're all about trying to kill quickly and not really drag out a fight too long. So due to that, they're very susceptible to burn damage, and GaffRaw soaks that up instead. Now granted, he's not particularly durable either, capping out at 60 energy, so he can get killed too by burn very easily. But however, he does protect your Royals from that, and you know, that can come up, or like, oh, hey, you got your Royal down to 20 energy. Your opponent tries to take it out with the Cannon of Casualty, but GaffRaw's like, no, I take that damage. So, GaffRaw, I'm going to put in the B tier as well. He's very, very handy in a lot of situations. I don't see him get played heavily, but I really like him for what he wants to do. Now we got Core. Oh boy, where do I even start with this thing? This thing, okay, first and foremost, S tier. It's hard to deny that this thing is like the top tier Mepedian Warbeast. I see it way too much. It is the main, like, if you want to play Warbeast competitively, you're basically playing Core with 2 Ninrin thrown in, or maybe 1 Ninrin and something else if you want to get fancy. Core has no effects other than that he has a recklessness 50 and he has no elements to speak of. But he makes up for that with just the craziest stat line on a monster that's not Ein flipped over. Courage and Power 100 each, Speed 100 as well, Wisdom at 15 with a low of 5. This thing is horrible in terms of Wisdom. It is the dumbest one yet, with the highest recklessness yet. But, however, makes up for it with its Courage, Power, and Speed all being at 100 or higher, well, under 100 if you're unlucky and have a triple 90 minimum. That would be sad. But his energy is also crazy high at 130, averaging, getting a max of 135 and a low of 125. This thing is a absolute beast, and there are so many cards out there that utilize the recklessness value. And also, of course, you can use stat checks and stat challenges to be able to just absolutely overpower the opponent. It's because of that that I honestly would say that like the only deck I would play Titanics in is a deck with Core. But Titanics just isn't. He doesn't have the stat line to back up freaking Core. And Core has another buddy that we're gonna get to here in a minute that makes a lot more sense, because Core, you do need a ton, either a ton of conjurers or a couple conjurers with a really good recklessness reducing effect, like for instance Appelli, or the other guy, I think Valzaz is his name, I can't remember. He's the Savo, I can't remember. What was his name? It's the other Mepedian that has basically the same effect as Appelli. But yeah, where it like reduces the recklessness value by each like counter on it. That or you can slap a stone mail on it and you get its effects, and then it gets 50 energy, but it can't move, so you know, make it even more scary. This thing is one of the best cards. Like, it's the best Warbeast. It's because of this that like some people would definitely say Blaziken's more an A tier, but I think because Blaziken is more versatile and can be used in other Like, it can be used in more ways than just core, because the core deck is solved. It's like very much you know what you're going to be playing if you're playing a core deck. So Blaziken, I feel like is he's an S tier along with core. It's also just kind of hard to beat out Blaziken because of how amazing he is. Next up, we got Ninrin. This is Core's buddy, I'm going to call him. And also the card that made Eerie irrelevant. This is a much better Eerie. It has range and swift 1 and recklessness 25. And it is a stupidly good beast of a stat line. Like, this thing is Blaziken stats with Eerie's effect, basically. Courage and power 90, wisdom 25, speed of 150, capping out at 160, and then energy of 70, capping out at 75. And then he has air, which just makes it even better. He doesn't have earth, which is annoying, but hey, the big old Clockwork Phoenix works amazing. And it's an instant A tier, bordering S tier. The only reason I don't give Ninrin an S tier is because he doesn't have earth. If it had earth, oh my god, this thing would be the best thing ever. But it doesn't. So I'm putting him in the A tier. It's still really good. It's still really, really good. Oh my goodness. It just is an absolute powerhouse to deal with. Now we get into the other, like, really unique ones. Exec and gentanai. These are two cards that there I go with my Yu-Gi-Oh! Crap again. It was called freaking Chaotic TCG Konami. Look what you've done to me. Goodbye, Utopia. Okay, so Chaotic TCG. This is their way of trying to try other forms of recklessness and stuff. So we got Exec. He's a T-Rex with air and earth, and he doesn't have a recklessness value. But, however, other creatures you control have 10 less energy. Now, to make up for this, though, he has pretty good, solid stats all around. Courage 90, power 80, wisdom of 30, speed of 80, and an energy of 85. This thing is really good stat line and has air and earth. My problem with it is its effect. Other creatures you control have 10 less energy. That makes a big world of a difference. Like, even more so than like someone would think at first. Like, you go, oh, it's just 10 energy. But that's a lot of energy. Like, it's a lot. That can be one attack, that can be two attacks, that can be the difference between life and death for your other creatures. Exec really isn't good when put with other creatures in a deck. And it's due to that I am very mixed on Exec. I feel like he's a C, because I feel like it's really good for 1 versus 1. I could see it being really good for playing in a standard deck, like up front, and then hopefully it dies first, so that then, oh hey, your other creatures get their energy back. Because I'm very mixed on Exec. I really like the card. It's a T-Rex, as one of my favorite arts in the game. The art is just beautiful on this thing, and its design is really cool as well. But yeah, it's that effect of reducing everybody else by 10 energy, I don't like that. Then we get to Gentanai, the Forgotten. I think this is like a dragon that was brought back to life with conjuring magic. That's at least what it looks like. It's so cool, and I hope that like dragons would play anything like this, because it would be really interesting to see what they do with that idea. Anyways, Gentanai, oh boy. So it's an air and earth, at least for its elements, and it has really good stats as well. Courage of 120, power of 120, wisdom of speed of 120, and wisdom of 30. Then it also has okay energy, capping out at 65, averaging of 60. Pretty good all around. What makes this thing stand out, though, is that it has air and earth 10, so you're doing a crap ton of damage with this thing very quickly, very easily. But then you get to its replacement for a recklessness value. When Gentanai wins combat, sacrifice another creature. If you cannot, destroy Gentanai. So if for whatever reason you can't sacrifice another creature, you lose Gentanai. So if like there's an effect going on, it says you can't sacrifice or you can't tribute or whatever, Gentanai gets destroyed. That is very not good. And then on top of that, you gotta sacrifice another creature. Sure, you took down one of your opponents, but you also gotta get rid of one of yours. That's not good. And this isn't like Danians where you want your dudes in the graveyard. Mepedians don't have any form of revival or recursion. They don't really have any way of capitalizing off of that. If they even had just one Mepedian that had an effect in the graveyard, it'd be at least okay, because then, hey, you get a dude in your graveyard, and I don't know, maybe he gives all your Warbeasts 5 extra energy for every Warbeast or something. I don't even know. It could be something cool. But they don't do that. They don't. That's not Mepedian's playstyle. That's a Danian playstyle. So, this thing's really only good in 1v1. Because you kill your opponent's creature, you win. You don't even have to worry about sacrificing anything. You just win. Making it one of the most popular cards for 1v1, alongside like Fraft of the Hero and stuff. So, it's another really niche card where I'm just like, the stats make me want to put it in a B, but the effect makes me want to put it in a C. I'm going to put it in a B, though, because it looks nice in uniform, and also, I do think the stats went out in the end, and you could play this, you know, but, like, I feel like it's really only good for 1v1. So, that is it. That's all the Warbeasts. All of them. There is one more that we know of. I think it's called the Sting Beast or whatever. We only know its art and what it looks like. It looks like a scorpion thing, but we don't know like what it did or anything. I think it was going to be in Fire and Stone. Judging by its art, though, it looks really cool, but we have no idea what it did, so I can't really rate it. So that is everything here. This is my final opinion, I think. You know, got Core and Blazitan at the top tier because they are the best boys ever. Got Kilron and Ninrin down in the A column because, well, for Kilron, his garbage stats kind of hold him back from being an S tier, while Ninrin, the lack of Earth kills it for me, but he could just as easily be up here too. It's kind of down to your personal opinion and preference. B tier is like the nifty ones that have a unique thing going on, where it's like, yeah, they're good, but you gotta kind of play around, you gotta build your deck around them. C is the dudes who either got power creep to high hell or just didn't quite make the cut. And then D tier is Titanics. Titanic's the Titanic's tier. You don't want to be with Titanics. Support Titanics. So yeah, that's everything. That's my personal opinion on the Warbeasts and their rankings. If you guys want to see anything more like this, I might do it. I could also do a top 10. I'm thinking about doing top 10s for like my favorites of each tribe and stuff. That'll be fun. I got some other ideas and things I want to do coming up soon as well. And of course, I also have a big video coming soon. Hopefully sometime next week. I'm running about a week behind on all my scheduling with this because I got screwed over with some fun stuff for work, which is annoying. So I'm hoping to get a really cool video out that I think you guys are gonna like. That I promised I would make somebody like months ago, and I'm very sorry about not getting that out sooner. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that. Thank you all for watching. Rate, comment, and subscribe. And hey, please consider watching my other stuff and sticking around. Peace out. Thank you all for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please consider rating, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. It all goes a long way to helping out me and my channel. And also, if you do, please consider following me on social media, as well as also checking out my other channels. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Peace out.